Hey everyone, welcome to the Mayday Network. I'm Michelle Kinney. I'm here with my good friend Julie Roginsky. And we wanted to come on and just talk for a few minutes about you know, some news. Hakeem Jeffries,
Brooklyn Hakeem is back.
Brooklyn Hakeem is back. And, I really hope he's here to stay because we joke about Shakespeare in the Park, Brooklyn, and not Brooklyn Hakeem's Shakespeare in the Park, Hakeem Jeffries, and how, he's often delivering sonnets and not hitting back in a way that we feel is effective to a bunch of liars and people who say the worst things about anyone who doesn't agree with them. And he's been hitting back pretty consistently, and it's been really refreshing to see. What do you think, Julie?
Listen, I think you should play this slap down of Karoline Leavitt, who, before you do, let me just stress, Karoline Leavitt's like 27 years old or 28 years old. She's a failed congressional candidate in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she looks the part. Scott Jennings really wanted that job, but as I told him, he was not a young blonde woman.
Yeah.
So he was never going to get it. Much like he's never going to get that Senate seat, but whatever. And
thirsty. Thirsty,
very thirsty, very thirsty. She got it. She got it not because she was qualified. She got it not because she has any experience working in these kinds of environments, but she got it because, she looks the part and she'll lie and she'll say whatever Trump wants. It's like Baghdad Bob, right? Like she's basically Baghdad Barbie. And that's my new nickname for her. I just came up with that.
Write that down.
I will. Baghdad Barbie, everybody. That's the new name. And ultimately she is a liar. I don't know what else to say.
Well, let me just give some background other than the fact that she's 27 years old. And she's crafty. I'll give her that. She can talk her way around lots of issues and make it seem almost like she knows what she's talking about. But most of what comes out of her mouth is a whole lot of bullshit. And just so people know, she worked for Elise Stefanik. She was Elise Stefanik's communications director. And then she went to New Hampshire and tried to run for Congress. And to Julie's point, lost. And so she was in that world of the ultra MAGA, I think is what they say they are. And Elise Stefanik is another person who is a political and moral windsock. And she just goes wherever the wind is flowing and will say whatever because she is, like many of the people in the Republican world, like Gollum, obsessed with power and will do anything for proximity to it or to have it themselves. So the first thing I'm going to play here is the clip where Karoline Leavitt says some really crazy shit about Democrats.
The Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals. That is who the Democrat Party is catering to, not the Trump administration and not the White House and not the Republican Party, who is standing up for law-abiding Americans, not just across the country, but around the world.
She's going to do really well at Fox News when she lands there in a couple of years, by the way.
Is she? Well, I'll say this.
Yeah, of course.
They better make up people at Fox.
Like Kayleigh McEnany. Like all these people are doing is auditioning for a job at Fox. And congratulations, she's going to get it. She's going to get a nice fat contract there.
Yeah. And I mean, and to someone in the comments saying, I guess she forgot about January 6th, obviously.
I don't think she did. I don't think she did. I think they just look straight into the camera and lie. I mean,
lie. It doesn't really bother them. I noticed she didn't have. Does she have a cross on in that picture? I didn't see one. She usually has like a big ass cross, which is another thing that McEnany, is that her last name? She used to do that. Aunt Lydia, what's her name? Sarah Huckabee. She used to do it too. Sorry. But listen. There's always some pretty telling signs to me that these women have no gay men in their lives. And it's either the hair, which her hair looks all right, or it's the makeup, or it's both. And that's all. I'm going to leave it there. But Hakeem Jeffries, who he's seemingly had enough. We've all had enough. And this is the way we need to be communicating about these people, because they say this shit and they get away with it. They get away with it. And I'm sure she's going to go, oh, white woman tears, but I don't care. This is great. This is great.
Of deep.
Oops.
Like, we've already seen a rise in political violence and hatred in America. And then you've got swastikas apparently appearing in the offices of Republican members of Congress. You've got young Republicans engaging in the most anti-Semitic and racist speech possible. Like, this is apparently who many of these people are. They are ripping the sheets off in plain view of the American people. Their words, their actions, revealing themselves in so many different ways. And then you got Karoline Leavitt, who's sick. She's out of control. And I'm not sure whether she's just demented, ignorant, a stone cold liar, or all of the above. But the notion that an official White House spokesperson would say that the Democratic Party consists of terrorists, violent criminals, and undocumented immigrants, this makes no sense. That this is what the American people are getting from the Trump administration in the middle of a shutdown. So their actions continue to speak for themselves, which is why they're on the wrong side of public sentiment.
Question on the second.
You know, if I got called demented by a Republican, I would probably take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Being called a liar, you can't. There's certain things in life that like are very hard to get past, right? And if you lose credibility, you lose credibility. Now, I know that these MAGA people don't think these days will ever end.
Yeah.
I know that they think that this is just how it's going to be. And so, let the good times roll because they'll never stop. It always stops.
Yeah.
It always stops. And this is not forever. And she's a young woman. 10 years from now, she'll only be in her late 30s. 20 years from now, she'll still be younger than I am. She'll be in her late 40s. And so it's a lot, 20 years ago, when I think about it, what was happening in 2005? Like, we had the Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, like it was the early 2000s.
Yeah, Paris Hilton, like
jeans and going out tops.
Yeah,
and
like Paris Hilton,
I think had a
writing, yeah, it was like those days are a long time ago.
Yeah,
and these people think these days last forever, and they don't. They just do not.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, and the coordinated messaging. Here's what the Republicans are very good at. They're good at saying one thing over and over and over and over again, and they all do it, and they don't step out of line, and they repeat, and then the media prints it or they broadcast it as is, without context, without commentary. And I just want to ask you really quick, Julie, because first of all, you worked in the Senate on the Democratic side, obviously. Number one, do you remember the Republicans getting these talking points in the morning and then them going out and doing like the camera bit?
Yeah. I mean, look, the talking points have been around from both parties.
Yeah, they just seem to be more disciplined. And then my other question is about Fox too. And
so like that's not a surprise. They have their conference lunch or their caucus lunch every week. Both sides do in both houses, and they talk about it. There's somebody who's in charge of the messaging for the Democrats. I think it's Cory Booker right now. I don't know who it is for the Republicans. So yeah, what I will say, however, is that the tail is wagging the dog, right? So it used to be that they would send the messaging over to their allies in the media. Now their allies in the media are telling them what they should believe.
Right.
And they're all auditioning, as I said, for a job at Fox. And because it's much more lucrative and you get lionized when you're a Republican on Fox. Even when you're a Democrat on Fox, you get lionized in Republican spaces. It's a cult. And so in that sense, you know, I understand what she's doing. She's looking for her next gig, and she needs Trump to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But or she's looking to go work, at JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs or any of these places that need somebody close to Trump, and she'll
Yeah.
make a fortune doing that. I mean,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
the opportunities for her are pretty limitless until this all ends. Or maybe she wants to run somewhere again. I don't know where she's from. Where is she from originally?
I don't even know. I really don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, look, Sarah Huckabee
Her
walked.
husband's like 60 or something
She
too.
did, whatever, God
Yeah.
bless.
Yeah.
Teach their own. But
Yeah.
I don't really want to go after people's personal lives because
Well, I know it's just it's that MAGA kind of like tratty wife kind of thing, but also she gives me Phyllis Schlafly vibes, like just
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but look,
Walking hypocrisy.
they've all worked out. Sarah Huckabee Sanders parlayed that spot into becoming governor of her home state. Kayleigh McEnany, who used to show up to Fox Business, Fox News would not hire her because she was so not good. Then now she's, on the show that I used to be on, Outnumbered, because she parlayed that into a lucrative Fox contract. And so I'm sure Karoline Leavitt will too. But eventually, this is going to end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's going to end.
I hope so.
Eventually. I don't know if it's going to be in 4 years. I don't think so. But I don't know under what circumstances it's going to end, in that there may be a lot of death and destruction to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know what it's going to take to break this fever. What took to break a fever in Germany was a really bad war.
Mm-hmm.
What, in the Soviet Union, what it took to break that fever for a little while was the collapse of the country. I don't know what it's going to be. But it is. I will say this. There's somebody in the chat, and I just want to say this. Look, I understand that people have very strong views on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and I understand that you don't like Hakeem Jeffries because he takes money from AIPAC. That's okay. That is fine for you to feel that way. Our enemy here is Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And please, tomorrow, don't take your Palestinian flags with you. Take your American flags with you. Please take your American flags with you. You need to be wrapped up in the flag of this country. And I would say this to anybody who is on the other side of this issue. If you're wearing your yellow ribbon to bring them home, the hostages, because some of the hostage bodies are still in Gaza, and so therefore leave that at home tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, leave the Ukrainian flag at home. Leave the Mexican flag.
Yeah.
If there's any flag that's not from the United States of America, leave it home. And it has nothing to do with my feelings about any of it. Yeah. It has to do with the fact, well, it's optics, right? Because we want when the drones and the cameras and the iPhone videos make their way onto social media and broadcast news, we want there to be a sea of American flags. This is the flag that I'm bringing with me tomorrow. This is it. And I have a second one I'm going to give to my husband, and we have our niece coming she's going to school in Fordham, and she's coming down with her friends, and we're all going to go together, and we're going to carry American flags because we have to. We have to, because they're looking for every opportunity for their cameras to pick Palestinian flag, a Ukrainian flag, a Mexican, Italian flag. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because listen, this is what they're saying. Let me just play a couple clips here. This is what they've been doing with their coordinated messaging about the No Kings rally. And we cannot give this to them. Here's Mike Johnson.
He's doing it for himself.
Can you make a 5-second prediction here for us? How long does this go on?
I hope it ends soon. I don't think it will end before the Hate America rally on the Mall on Saturday, where all the Marxists and Antifa people and all the people who hate Trump and hate America will be there. After that, though, I hope there's a couple of sensible Democrats who will come to their senses over in the Senate and vote the right way, to do the right thing that they have always done every time in the past.
Yeah, what he's saying there is he's waiting for Democrats to cave, because they're always dependent on Democrats, quote unquote, being the adults, doing the right thing. And that is what he means by that. What he doesn't want Democrats or the rest of us to do is to stand up, to speak up, and march in the street. Here's another clip.
The pro-Hamas wing of the Democrat Party, and they're going to be out here demonstrating and screaming and wailing. And I'm afraid that Senate Democrats will not reopen the government until at least that event is behind them, because they're afraid to confront the mob. So, I mean, look at the contrast between the two parties.
Yeah. And then we'll go on here. Here's Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary.
I believe that the Democrats will come to their senses soon. Maybe it's after this no kings thing, but no kings equal no paychecks.
It doesn't even make sense.
And
then here's one more.
They are waiting for this no kings protest. No kings means no paychecks. No paychecks and no government. And Maria, I think the dirty.
God, he's weird. But yeah, like he's so weird.
He just is. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know what no kings, no paychecks means. I just know that no
it doesn't
kings
make sense.
has to be about the United States. Please, I am so, as people who, if you follow me on Substack, the Ukrainian, I'm not Ukrainian, but the Ukrainian cause is very near and dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have been aghast. I'm not bringing a Ukrainian flag tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're bringing any flags, just please make it an American flag. Don't give them an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And don't give the press an excuse, because the press will gravitate towards scuffles.
Yeah, because they're looking for clicks and outrage.
For clicks, right? Because that's what sells.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing the press needs to see is a sea of American flags. I wrote this in Substack the other day. If you have a cross and you are prone to carrying one, carry it. I understand about the separation of church and state. I understand why religion has no place in.
And at this point,
I get it. But it's going to be a lot harder for them to say that you are anti-American and you're anti-Jesus if you're carrying a cross in your hand. I am not Christian, so I won't be doing that. But if you are in any way, shape, or form a religious person and you are prone to carrying or wearing a cross or anything, just do it.
Yeah. It's not, listen, this isn't complicated. It's not complicated. And some people are asking in the chat, like, do you think they'll plant people? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's not thinking like a conspiracy theorist. You're thinking like this is strategic, right?
Yeah.
You have to think how they're thinking. What would you do to try to disrupt all of this?
Listen.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say the Proud Boys, the 1%ers. Yes.
Absolutely.
And if they come near you, just walk away. Don't engage.
Don't engage.
Don't engage with anybody. Don't engage with anybody who's not on your side on this.
That's right. And also here's some other advice. And I've just been reading this from the ACLU and some other organizations in this climate specifically. Take the Face ID, disable that on your phone while you're out. Any thumbprint, fingerprint kind of to open your phone. Fifth Amendment stuff, the face stuff, you're not covered. But if you have to put in a password, you're covered, because they can't actually ask you to do that without a warrant. So not to say that something like this is going to happen. We all hope that it's all going to be peaceful and fine and great, but just, better safe than sorry. But, and I've been saying this to Julie the last couple of times we've been streaming. I've never seen, I really don't think maybe since the Women's March, this many people of influence, celebrities, people with power, putting serious amounts of money behind this, also using airtime, using their resources to get the word out. I'm going to play a couple of clips here. This is from Jimmy Kimmel. I think this was last night.
Protesting a wannabe dictator means you hate America. Attacking the Capitol to overturn an election, patriotic walking tour. There is nothing more American than a political protest. The American Revolution was a No Kings rally. And if you are planning to go to the rally and you're going to be making your own sign, everybody there has a sign. I just want to ask you, remember, our president is very sensitive about his weight, so please do not use the word Mussolini to describe him, or engorged Washington, or King Hungry VIII. He will not appreciate it. It's rude, and he will throw you in jail.
And here's Stephen Colbert. I think this was 2 nights ago.
So all this obvious abuse of authoritarian power by the administration. This weekend, ladies and gentlemen, there will be 2,500 rallies across the United States under the banner of the No Kings protest. All right? Saturday. Check your local listings. No kings, yes. It's no kings, or as the Republicans are calling it,
This Hate America rally that they have coming up for October 18th.
This is about one thing and one thing only: a Hate America rally.
Hate America, it's no kings. America does not like kings. There are only 3 good kings in America: Gail, Stephen, and Berger. So, man, if you're no fan of kings, you can scan this QR code right there to find a march near you.
Mm-hmm. And listen, I think also, Julie, just beyond, the solidarity and like the optics and all of this, like, it is really nice to feel like we're not alone.
Well, that's why we started Mayday, right? Because I
Yeah.
think we heard from so many people who were feeling like they didn't have anybody to talk to, that nobody was kind of part of their community, that they may have lived in, might be living right now in red states or little blue dots in a sea of red. And just understand, you're not alone. You're not alone. And there are more of us than there are of them. More of them voted.
Yeah.
But there are more of us than there are of them. And just like, we'll talk about this tomorrow on our show on Coffee and Conversation before we all go out. But just be safe, be joyful, be in community with other people who feel like you. You are going to see a sea of people tomorrow, millions who feel exactly as you do. So if you ever feel that you're alone. And for those of you who are in different countries who plan on marching outside of our embassies, thank you so much. We are grateful to you because the men and women who staff those embassies probably agree with us.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
know what's going on.
They know.
They're diplomats. They can't say anything, but they're also Americans. They understand why they signed up to serve this country and devote their lives abroad. The show tomorrow is at usual time, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're not going to go too long. What time is your rally start, Michelle, tomorrow?
Well, there's 2 actually. And we're trying to figure out which one we're going to go to. The first one starts at 11 in Duffy Square, which is part of Times Square. That's, I think, going to be one of the big rallying spots. But then there's one a couple hours later that's happening in Morningside Heights in Harlem, I think 125th Street. I might go to both. I might go to one. I don't know yet. Just kind of depends on my mood.
Yeah.
But
mine starts later, so I can stay.
Yeah. I think we've got the kids coming here before we head out, so I'm sure there'll be bagels and all that kinds of fun stuff going on here. But I also just want to say, like, as someone who is unfortunately like probably a little hypersensitive and emotional at times, I think it just comes from my creative background. But I say to people, let yourself feel it all too. Like, it is really moving and emotional to walk out into the sea of all of this too. Like, every time I go, I kind of can't believe it. It takes my breath away. And so I say to people, like, just stand there and take it in. Yes, take pictures, but like, put your phone down for a minute.
I'm gonna have to put my phone down for a minute because my son's school is calling me, which is
oh gosh.
burning. I will be right back. Hello.
Oh, nope. We're gonna take Julia. I think she took me out instead of her. Hopefully everything's okay. But no, what I was gonna say is, take it in for a second, put your phone down, look around you, and remember the moments, remember them. Oh, hi, Julie. Welcome back.
Hello, I'm back.
You took me out instead of you at first. And you're like,
my conversation with my son, who was like, I need my sweatpants. That's literally why he interrupted everything. Yeah.
Listen, I was that kid always calling my mom at school too. So, like, no judgment. Zelensky arrives at the White House. I did not realize that was happening today. My bad. But anyways, that's my 2 cents. These times, and I keep a journal of all this stuff. Write it down on pen to paper. And, because you're going to want to tell the story one day to your kids, your grandkids, and you're going to want people to read your point of view when that day comes. And I just think it's important.
Yeah. We see in the chat, yes, you're right. John Bolton pled not guilty. And a lot of other stuff is happening. Obviously, Zelensky, as Michelle pointed out, is at the White House with Trump.
Ugh.
Who knows what Putin said
Poor
to
guy.
him on the phone to mitigate that.
And
Supposed to meet
yeah.
at Budapest to hammer out some sort of deal.
Yeah. And please, if you haven't seen our episode from our morning show this week, we had a great conversation with Ken Harbaugh about Ukraine and Zelensky and what's going on, because he often takes trips there to help out the Ukrainians. So please go onto the Mayday Network YouTube and go check that out.
Okay, everybody. We will see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern with Tara. I think Tara's joining us tomorrow.
I think so, for a little bit. She's going to be on the ground in DC with Jim Acosta and Don Lemon and Joy Reid, and we're all a little bit busy, but we're all gonna make it happen. So
all right, okay, everybody.
Yep. And I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to play us out with our Seneca Project ad, Stand Up, and then we're gonna part ways, and we'll see you.
See you in the morning.
See you tomorrow morning. Bye, everyone.
We are together as one.
I'm standing right here. I ain't got no fear, no fear, no fear. Whole world is watching and I hope we ready, we ready. Been through a whole lot, but we overcome.
People need to come together.
No kings, no kings. I was waiting for this and now it's my turn.
This is restoring my faith in humanity. We are stronger together.
We got the power.
I love this country.